Okay, let's move on finally from this Rose conversation. Yeah. Overall, we agree it was a good move to move Rose.
Absolutely, it was time.
But let me ask you guys this. I don't know what your opinions are with Jimmy Butler. I am in the camp of, if you're gonna go retool, go all in, and freaking you have value for Jimmy Butler. I feel like
we should have traded him for Dunn.
You can
I don't know if that was
high
just Thibs
for Jimmy
toying
Butler
with us, but we should have pulled the deal. We should have pulled the trigger.
Jimmy Butler. Now there were credible sources, reporting that the Bulls and the Celtics and the Timberwolves were in talks of a big deal involving Jimmy Butler. What I find very interesting
both teams wanted him,
is
and the Bulls were like, who are we giving
Foreman,
him to?
Gar freaking Foreman goes up and he's like, "What the hell are you guys talking about? I never dangled Jimmy out there. I never received calls for Jimmy Butler." And that's a freaking lie.
But is that
that's a cover up?
Is that him playing to Jimmy's ego? Like, no. We weren't.
Oh,
trying to,
they were,
because that's the only thing I can see is this is just him going, no. We weren't trying to trade you.
But
don't worry.
He was.
Yeah,
and it was obvious.
Do I love Jimmy? Yes, I do. But I love Chris Dunn.
Oh, okay.
I love Isaiah
Let me piggyback off that, because the Bulls had a chance. I guess the package was...
I mean, with Boston, we could shit talk them all night because they had a trade from Philly that they should have just pulled with, what was it, Noel, 2 picks, and Covington for the 3rd, and they should have taken it because Jaylen Brown sucks.
But you know what?
They get more picks.
I know.
The Celtics do not need more picks.
Touching on the Celtics real quick, their player development staff, they know more than we do, okay?
I like to think so.
It's straight up that... Guys, they've been doing this for a long time. They probably saw something in Jaylen Brown that they wanted.
Oh, he's got potential.
Definitely.
We're not saying he doesn't have potential.
Right.
It's the question of development.
I'm just saying bust at number 3.
Chris Dunn was the guy to take. And here's the thing.
Right,
the Bulls had a chance to grab Dunn. And I know I saw the package. It was like Levine, Dunn, and a second rounder.
Well, no, wasn't it? From what I heard, it was.
Well, that's what Stein.
There were 3 different rumors.
Right.
The one rumor I know, because this is the one Sean told us while we were hanging out watching the draft, was apparently they wanted to give us Dunn and Rubio for Butler, and the Bulls said, "Well, give us Levine," and the T-Wolves said no.
Yeah. So it was Rubio, Dunn, and Levine.
No, the Bulls said swap out Rubio and Levine.
See, now what the thing is...
And the T-Wolves said, no, we're not getting rid of Levine.
My opinion on that specific deal is I think Jimmy is worth more than just Zach LaVine. Now, I love Chris Dunn as much as you.
I love him.
Yeah. I think he's going to be a star.
Great. He would be great next to Denzel.
If we had a competent
whoever we put in
front
for Jimmy.
office, and I truly believe this, I think they would have been able to pull the trigger on a Jimmy Butler deal. But this front office is a freaking joke, and once again, it showed their underpants.
Things aren't over though. He could be traded.
Yeah,
this
this
season.
doesn't change anything.
Right.
This was just the hottest point for it.
Right.
But all the pieces are still there.
You know,
just gotta get him back to the table.
I'm in the camp, and a lot of people are like, "What are you doing trading Jimmy Butler? He's a top 12 talent. You don't want to get rid of this guy."
Interesting 12. That's
If you're gonna enter the rebuild, let's dive right in.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
You go plus. You guys so much to say because it's just so interesting.
I'm gonna do something I never do. I'm just gonna shut up and let you talk.
It's about freaking time, Ricky. No, but with the Jimmy Butler situation, a lot of people want Jimmy Butler to stay because you want to build around this guy. But if you do that, you're half-assing a retool, like Gar likes to call a retool. If this was me, you sell Jimmy high, you get younger, you get more talented, you have more talent on your roster. And that gives you a chance to maybe cut a Dunleavy because you have a guy like Chris Dunn coming in, a guy like Zach LaVine or whoever they get in return. I would have wanted Andrew Wiggins. My goodness, if you had Wiggins, Dunn, and a pick.
We weren't going to get him,
No, but I'm saying I think Jimmy could be worth that. Plus, maybe add in another player to kind of maybe.
Yeah, we would have had to spice up a little.
If you get Wiggins, Dunn, and a pick, do that. Oh my gosh, you do that 3 times in a day.
Or were all these trade talks just Thibodeau saying, you know what? I'm going to fuck with you because...
he's not like
that's
that.
not Thibodeau.
No. But the way I heard on when I was listening to Waddle and Sylvia, is they brought up the point of like, you could kind of see that because when Thibs was out the door, Gar came out and just blasted Thibodeau. Like, he's terrible to work with, this, that, and the other.
It is true.
And I don't know. I could maybe see where it's like, you know what? I'm going to make you think this is serious, but it ain't going to happen.
No, I don't think Thibs is that kind of professional.
Thibs wanted Jimmy Butler on his team. He loved Jimmy when he was on his team. He grew him as,
they
one
get
of
to
the
work
best
together
players.
for the Olympics.
They get to work. Oh, that little bit of great for them. But no, it really comes down to the fact I completely disagree with their theory that Thibs is just fucking with the Bulls. I wish this trade would have happened. There's different pieces that would have evened it out a little bit on one side or the other. I mean, I would have even settled
Could
for
have threw
like
in Taj.
I would have settled for getting like a Shabazz plus, and then we could move Taj in or one piece or the other. But look, I'm with you. I think the problem is I touched on it a little bit earlier with the NBA purgatory. If we have Jimmy, we're not going to be bad enough to get a top pick in the draft. The way you really turn around a team is with these people who are just absolute game changers, like we're looking at a Ben Simmons, like we're looking at a Brendan Ingram, and we're going to be stuck in that teen range where it's like, we can find steals, yes. We can find good role players, yes. But is there anyone who's going to get this team above 50 wins?
Well, it's like Cowherd said today. How do you make the finals? Look at the finals. You get game-changing players. LeBron James, game-changing. Steph Curry, game-changing.
Well, a lot of people, what made
Kevin
the Warriors
Durant,
so
even
good.
game-changing.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
that's how you get
Russell Westbrook,
far
game-changing.
into
Right.
the playoffs.
Now, is Jimmy...
Derrick Rose at the time when we went
Sure.
to the Eastern Conference Finals. Game-changing.
I think Jimmy Butler is very good. Very good. Right? But
here's the problem.
but-
He's the best one on our team. He'd be like the second and third
Is
on
he
most
elite?
other teams.
Is
I don't
he
agree
elite?
with that. I third, really?
On most of look at the playoff, like the good playoff teams, he'd be maybe second or put him on the Warriors, he's like third or fourth.
Second.
He may be even behind Draymond.
I think your
go
values are
Steph,
way
Clay,
out.
and Green
I'm
before
sorry.
you even put Butler.
Wasn't Draymond the best player in that series for the Warriors?
No.
Didn't their unanimous MVP of the season
I'm
fucking
just saying,
no-show?
I'm just saying overall, like as a player, not just the finals.
I think
not
his
just the
contributions
playoffs.
would show differently being on a better team.
Well, I'm just saying,
I
like,
think he
looking
could be
at the
valued better.
difference of our team compared to any like of the good teams, Jimmy is
You put him
not
on the
going to be.
Cavs. Are
Wouldn't
you
be
telling me-
wouldn't be the best player. Wouldn't
No.
even be the second best
Yes, he
player
would.
because of Kyrie.
I
put
think
Kyrie
he
and
and
well,
Kyrie
above
are on the
them.
same tier.
No, I think Kyrie's better than
Yeah,
Jimmy.
I put Kyrie, especially after these finals. I put Kyrie up there too.
He made that shot, yes. Did he have
He
some...
also
No,
he also
Kyrie
shot
had-
pretty good.
He
Kyrie
Kyrie.
had
chucked
a
the
great
fuck out of the
series.
ball. You want to shoot 35 times a night? Yeah, you want Kyrie Irving. That's what you're telling me. I respect him. I think he's a phenomenal talent. I think he's still growing.
Yeah,
I think he's going to get
okay.
better. But the man puts up volume. That's where you're going.
Okay, so
Sorry.
we're
Jimmy,
coming back.
Great talent.
We're gonna come back to this
Thank
Jimmy
you.
thing. He's not a top 10 talent in the NBA. I mean, he's close. I don't, Dave. You can
Yeah.
have your opinion.
I'm
I don't see it.
Yeah, I see him
don't-
right outside top 10.
Yeah, I don't think Jimmy Butler is as good as he thinks he is. And I'm sorry if I insult a lot of Bulls fans out there, but Jimmy Butler has a lot of value. And we're going back to this because you get Chris Dunn. You have an opportunity to get Chris Dunn. And I think the thing is with that trade, and if it was serious or not, I think these were serious talks. I think the difference between the Bulls getting Dunn and whatever package is that Thibodeau really likes Dunn. And I don't think he was willing to part with him, even though he loves Jimmy.
Well,
Yeah.
probably Thibodeau went, oh my God, Boston didn't take him? What?
Yeah, unless the Suns weren't going to get him either.
Is this
so.
real life? Well, that was like immediately when it happened. They were like, well, now teams are going to try to trade up just because everybody who wanted Dunn was like, wait, we can get Dunn? Because nobody thought he was going to the Suns.
For now, Jimmy Butler's a Bull. He is their piece. They're going to build around him. But let's talk about this draft pick.
Oh, fucking loved it.
Denzel
Loved it.
Valentine.
Beautiful.
I don't know how many times I've called him Denzel Washington yet already.
He's already done
too,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Training day, baby. Training day.
But yeah,
love
no.
that movie.
So let me talk about let me talk about Valentine a little bit. Here's what I see. I see a guy who he's not athletic. He's not as athletic as you'd prefer a top NBA talent to be. He doesn't play above the rim.
No.
Excellent passer. Got great court vision. Really good in transition. He's got size 6'5" for a guard. He'll get you boards.
But he can also play the three.
He can
That's
play
versatile,
the three.
yeah.
He can shoot off the pick and roll. He's not the best off the dribble. He can't beat his man isolation, so he's not that type of player. But you got a shooter who 40% from three, can knock down the open jumper off a screen, is really a good passer.
He's going to get you boards. I mean, he brings 3 areas to the game.
Yeah, he needs work defensively big time.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of rookies do. You saw McDermott, but Chris Dunn's going to need work defensively. I'm sorry, I wish we had Chris Dunn. I meant Valentine. But I'm really happy with the pick.
Dunzo
At 14.
Yeah.
I know he's got some knee problems. We mentioned that earlier, but
Yeah, but that's not, to me, that's not a huge problem because his knee problem was he had it in late December, kept him out 2 weeks, and then he was back right away.
He's
for
a
his team.
workhorse. That's the other thing.
I remember at the time, me and Brandon for the Primetime Podcast, he got injured, and we asked, could Michigan State still be undefeated? They lost the next game. So that's what happened there. And he came back, he was fine, and they went and played well the rest of the season.
I think the thing, too, with this pick, and as well as the 3 guys they got in return for Derrick Rose, is that they're all high-character athletes. They all work hard. And I think that's a thing, too, where you saw the differences Rose and Butler saw, and especially the relationships they had with Hoiberg. They didn't respect this guy. They're bringing in people, they're bringing in talent who will run Hoiberg's offense, and that's what we need. That's what the Bulls need to do. They got to have guys who are high-character athletes. I know it's not a tremendous need, but you got to actually run the freaking offense. And with that, and the thing with Jimmy Butler real quick, too, with Valentine, I think the problem, like, Jimmy, last year we saw a lot of isolation from him, and it's not a big deal, especially late in the game, like fourth quarter, game on the line. You want your best player to go ISO. But what he does is he'll go ISO with 18 seconds on the shot clock. He doesn't even get into the offensive set.
Right.
He'll just go. And I think now with a retool.
Yep. Favorite phrase of the day.
It's gonna get better, especially since Rose is gone. But I really do like this Valentine pick at 14.
The thing that made me love it even better, and it's kind of like Tom Izzo today when I heard him on the radio was kind of telling me what I already knew. But it's one of those things
stroking
where
the ego now.
Well, when somebody tells you something you already know, and
He's
you're
reinforcing
you're
your
just
thoughts,
smiling, and he hit the nail right on the head. Well, of course, he worked with the kid for how many years, and he goes, "This kid is like the number one thing he's all about is winning.
Yeah,
that's what he's about." And I'm like, "That's what we need.
There we go.
We need kids that want to come in here and win, because when you look at the Bulls, we're not an organization, we're not a fan base that just looks for winning games. No.
Are you
talk
sure?
about winning championships.
Because Gar Forman says the reason why we're good and we want free agents to come is because we made the playoffs in consecutive years.
I'm saying as a fan base, when we talk about our team and we talk about the future, we don't say, we just want to win games. No, we want to win championships. Now, that may go back to we have 2 3-peats and 6 championships, but yes, we are a city that...
Isn't that what every city wants with their team?
Yeah, I think so.
It is, but we just have that extra fuel, I feel.
I think you're a little biased.
Yeah, you're beyond a little biased.
I feel like
Homer.
that's no, but I'm serious.
No.
Ours is just we've been there before.
Right.
We know
Unfortunately,
the taste.
we've been there a long time ago, and the closest thing to success we had was Derrick Rose carrying a team, and then just tragedy, pretty
Yeah, it was
much
awful.
for the next 4 years.
Or getting
awful.
beat down by the big 3, the
So-
Miami team.
Yeah, that was tough.
No, so I mean that I understand where you're going with the expectations of this team. And I think the one thing that they all saw in Denzel fitting into where this org wants to go is the fact
I hate
that
when you say that. Though.
I'm sorry,
I hate when you say org.
Screw you. The thing is, he is a senior. He's got the experience. He's a veteran
like
on his
that
own
too.
team. He understands how the locker room works in college. He knows where he's going to
got
be
the
coming
mentality.
in. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you look at Deonta Davis, freshman coming out of the same
Talking
exact
too
school,
much.
talking about how, you know what, if I played more minutes, I would have been better, and he got passed up for it.
Yeah. No, I think he's a smart player, and you got to respect that. He's versatile. And look, if he's going to give you coverage as far as points, rebounds, and assists,
That's valuable.
like, there's not a ton of guys who are going to hit all those 3 marks, and consistency is the big thing with him. Like you said, he did have that knee injury where he missed 2 weeks, but let's be honest, if he needed to, he probably could have played. But it was December. They didn't need him. They let him come back healthy, and he gave him points night in, night out. He was reliable for that team, and he took him far.
And the one thing I'm going to throw out there, as I know, Dave, you're not going to like this because you think he's a dirty player, but who also came out of Michigan State, and although he does some things that are questionable, he is a smart player, is Draymond Green. So, I mean, that's another...
I think your love for Draymond is enough for today.
You know what? I mean, Draymond...
No, I get
Draymond
the
in that
comp.
locker
No
room
doubt.
is seen as a leader.
No doubt.
He's seen as a
Which
leader
is just
in that
scary.
Golden State locker room, and Denzel could... I could see him being the same thing for us.
I definitely see it. I think
my
that,
hope is Jimmy takes him under his wing, and I think they'd get along really well because
Or
Jimmy's
is Jimmy gonna pull a Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, where it's like you stay over there, I'll stay over here?
No, I think they're gonna build a decent relationship.
You talked about this, the past offseason. Jimmy was working out with the younger guys. He's making sure everybody's on the same page.
Well, you know
him.
how you did that is to take over the team.
Yeah,
I'm hoping
he's smart.
I'm hoping we see. I know the age gap may be a little bit different, but I'm hoping we see more of a Michael Scotty, where it's like Michael, I can't do it without this guy, man, and they develop that kind of a relationship.
Comping Jimmy, yeah, I got you. But all right, so
you don't need to compare everything to the championship.
I'm sorry, that's
we're
my
good.
reference point.
Yep.
Wrapping up this Denzel Valentine conversation, Big Ten Player of the Year, AP National Player of the Year. Bulls got him at 14, pretty good value. Who do they got in the second round? We're not going to talk very much on this guy.
Stash and draft.
Paul
Or
Zips.
Draft and stash.
Draft and stash.
He role player. I got some notes here.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Professional.
Zipza, he's coming out soon. He's going to be a few years, but he's going to be big.
Oh my God.
You know what I've read?
Zipza.
What, he played in Germany.
Yep.
Shot 40% from three. He's a big man, right?
Right there, you get value. That's you literally put a number next to 3 point. It's like, oh yeah, that guy, he could be good. No matter, you could have absolutely no talent whatsoever, but if you stand on that 3-point line on this spot exactly and you hit 40%, you're worth something in today's NBA.
Solid defensively. You need the Bulls need help defensively. So keep an eye on Zipsy, second round pick. I mean, we'll take what we can get.
Is
at this
it
point.
Zipsy or Zipza?
I don't know.
I think it's Zipza.
I do have a question though. Going back to that first round pick for Valentine, do you feel like we missed a chance to take a guard, like a true point at that point?
Well, I mean, who was available?
Deonta Murray. That's who
And
he
Wayne
wants us to
Baldwin.
talk about.
Yeah,
I know
I think
Dave.
he
wants us to mention
Baldwin.
They're both
Deonta Murray.
available.
I think Baldwin would have been I think he would have been the right fit for what the Bulls needed to do, and I think they would get tremendous value at 14 for him. But at the same time, I'm happy with the Valentine pick as long as he doesn't go down. Like as long as he's healthy, we're good there.
Well, and I mean the one thing that it really depends on, and this is the only thing I hate about the NBA season, is that
It never ends.
Well, I love that part, but until football season, then I'm strictly football. But no, the one thing I hate about it is that free agency should be before the draft. You get what you want in free agency, then you add your the needs with the draft. And in the NBA, it's reversed. We're going to draft first, and then now we're going to set these guys in the holes before we go for free agents.
With the scheduling and everything, that makes it tough because you need time for free agency and you need the NBA Finals to play out. So I mean, you're not gonna because you want the summer league to start right away if you're an organization.
I get it.
I know what you mean.
It's just kind of like with me, logically, I'm like they should be flipped.
All right.
Does it place a higher
It places a higher need on hitting right in the draft, and I mean, there are so many reasons why that job of hitting right in the draft is one of the hardest jobs, unless you're like, oh, we're at number 1 and Ben Simmons is there, so our job's easy.
All right,
yeah,
so,
I mean, it worked great for Greg Oden too.
To recap, I think we're all in agreement that we were okay
win for the Bulls
with Jimmy Butler being traded. Right?
This is like this is shades differently than the first draft reaction we ever did for when we used to be just the Onside Kick channel. Tony Snell draft where me and Mark
I hated it.
Hated that and got roasted for it in the comments.
Yeah. No, I mean, you were kind of assholes about it. So
it was a terrible
pick. It was. Oh no, I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing the pick. I think they nailed it. It was just maybe they went a little too harsh.
I gotcha.